Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Germ Tesla. Today we're going to talk about how Tesla is the only car that seems to get better after you buy it. So Tesla has always been updating the cars and their UIs and things that they can do. People with Model S, Model X, they've constantly gotten updates to help. Anything from software related to performance related. People that have had their car for a year, the car just keeps getting better. They get that feeling where they go to their car in the morning and their car says they have an update, kind of like you would have on your iPhone or your Android device. And when they go in and they read what they're going to be getting, so a lot of times it's a really good update. It completely changes the car. Now, these changes range from all kinds of things, always software related, but typically it can deal with performance, easy user-friendly access things to help with the app, because your app is your key, and so improvements to the app on the phone, improvement to the user interface, things being added just to make charging more fun. And so I just wanted to talk about a few of the things that Tesla has done to make their car better for people after they've purchased it. And when Tesla does this, there's no charge at all. It's all free. It's over-the-air updates, just like your phone or your computer would be, and it just makes your experience better, and it makes your car so it doesn't seem like it gets old. So let's talk about some of these updates. Now, there are some that happened with the Model S and Model X, but what I'm going to talk about mostly is the ones that deal with the Model 3. So we're going to start with version 9 software. Obviously, version 9 indicates that it's an older or a much more recent update. But we're going to start with version 9, where they actually added things like the Tesla Tari, which is where they had different games such as Galactica and stuff like that. They also added the Tesla Cam, things like Sketchpad. They also updated the UI. They updated the autopilot as well, which is constantly been getting better as time goes on. In 2019, we've seen a lot of updates. The Model 3's really selling a lot of cars, and they've been really focused on updating the software and making people happy with their cars after they've made their purchases. Now, they do get something out of it. I do think that they get more sales because of this. I'm excited to buy the car because I know these things will be happening after I make my purchase. So in 2019, you got things like dog mode, which is just such a neat feature, right? You can leave your pets in the car, and it will run the air conditioner, and it will have a pop-up on the screen that says, that the owner is away, and it tells them the temperature inside the car so that people won't break the window to get the dog out. Don't try this with your babies. It probably is not the smartest idea, but your dogs, you might be able to get away with it. And when they added dog mode, they also added Sentry mode, which was a really nice thing because a lot of Teslas were getting vandalized, and they were also having the Model 3s getting broken into with the back glass. Now, this is where they were utilizing the cameras on the car. It started out with just the front forward-facing camera. Also, later on in 2019, there was the version 3 charging. So you have the version 2 or fast charging rate, and then you have now the V3 charging, which is at just extremely fast speed. Now, one of the biggest and most popular updates that happened to the Model 3 in 2019 earlier on was the fact that people started noticing that their range got further. So they did an update to optimize the battery. And what that did is it caused so that when you charge your car up fully charged or 80%, you got a bump in range. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was a good chunk. It was an increase of 10 to 15 miles in range on some of the models. One of the other things that they updated, the car actually got faster after people bought it. So they advertised the 0 to 60 time on their website for people when they bought it. Well, after they did this update for the software, the car actually got a little bit faster, 0 to 60 times. Now that's something that I think is just awesome. It's very rare that you can say that your stock car um, is faster than when you bought it without having to do some kind of aftermarket modifications that could void warranty and sometimes isn't necessarily as good as they say they are. Later on, Century Mode, they actually added the left and the right mirror. And so then you have three cameras looking. You have the forward facing, you have the left camera, and you have the right camera. But now with three cameras, you can actually see, if somebody's vandalizing from the sides. Of course, they kept updating the Tesla Atari. More games such as the Beach Buggy, where you can actually control the game through the steering wheel. And so then you can race, and it's kind of like Mario Kart. I mean, that's just amazing. Later on, they actually updated it again to add, in this most recent update, to add more games. Also, earlier in 2019, they released the Smart Summon for the autopilot users. And it started off a little slow. The car would back out or pull out and wouldn't necessarily recognize the lines in the parking lot. And it would just creep so slowly. But it was the first of the release. In June of 2019, or about midway through the year, they updated the ability to charge with third-party chargers, such as EVgo and things like that, at a faster rate than you could before, just to make it a little easier to travel, just in case you don't have a Tesla supercharger close to you. All while doing these things, you get little things like such as Easter eggs with the whoopee cushions and the fire, the Christmas thing at Christmas time where it'll blink the lights a certain way and stuff like that. All these things that they do just to make your car fun. Now, last month, at the end of last month, they released version 10. Now, this is one of the biggest updates they've done. In version 10, not only did they add more games, they added Cuphead, for example. They added extreme update for the autopilot, and where you can see the cars around you a lot better. It notices what the cars are. If it's a pickup truck, it will notice them. It says that it can go on hop from the on ramp to the off ramp completely autonomously. With you just making sure you're watching and keeping up and touching the steering wheel every now and then. It'll make lane changes for you and everything if you have full autopilot. Also, if you have full autopilot, the summon feature got a lot better. It moves pretty quickly now. If it's raining and you don't want to walk out in the parking lot in the rain, you can call your car and it will back out of the parking spot. It will come and pick you up. Now, there has been some issues with this so far where there's been a couple accidents and it's making some news. So if you're using the Smart Summon, you definitely need to be smart about it. You could hurt Tesla's name by using it improperly. So make sure you're being careful. But these situations are exactly what Tesla needs. They need to see what issues can happen so that they can better prepare and fix them. One of the other things they added in version 10, they added Tesla Theater. Tesla Theater has Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, which is great because those are the shorter videos for while you're charging. You can watch them. There's also Tesla tutorials. So that's a great addition, and I look forward to seeing more of those that get added over time. But that just makes charging so much easier. If you can pop open a couple of YouTube videos while you're sitting there charging, maybe you picked up some food and you're eating, that just makes it a lot better. You do have to be on Wi-Fi, and if you're at certain Tesla stations, they're trying to get Wi-Fi at all the different Tesla superchargers, but you'll have to have LTE if you want to watch those right now. Another update, really popular update that they added, instead of the Slacker, which they kept the Slacker, a lot of people don't like the Slacker radio, they added Spotify, which is something that people have been asking for a long time. If you're in Europe, you already had Spotify. Well, now they brought it into the US. If you have a premium account on Spotify, you can listen through Spotify now with all your playlists and everything like that. The audio is really good with it as well, from what I hear. So before, if you could use it through your phone, um, the sound wasn't quite as good, and now it's very immersive if you play it through the Spotify app in the Tesla Model 3. So far, everyone is just loving version 10, and me personally, I can't wait to get my hands on it. So yeah, if you have any thoughts of possible updates coming to the future, feel free to leave a comment in the bottom, and I appreciate you watching, and thanks a lot. I'll see you next time.